Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to acknowledge the chair of Fiji Ports Terminal Limited, board member Vilash, and your CEO and the members of the management and all the staff. Thank you for the invitation this afternoon. Your chair has highlighted essentially the rationale behind the bonus payment. He's also highlighted to you that because the company made a higher level profit than it anticipated, they're giving an additional bonus on top of that, of the normal bonus you anticipate, bonus vis-a-vis your performance management assessment. Just looking at the figures over here at ports, you can see that your transshipment has increased by nearly 29%. What that basically means is that shipping companies are now looking at this port, or indeed maybe Lautoka port, as a hub for transshipment. And normally companies transship because they feel a particular port is efficient, or that the turnaround times are pretty good, or the way the customer service is provided is pretty good. Fiji, of course, geographically has been in the hub of the South Pacific for a very long time. It's in the center of the South Pacific. Now, there's no point being in the center of the South Pacific if you're not efficient, if you're not able to take advantage of that. Since the formation of Fiji Ports Terminal Limited, after the divestment of government shares, the participation of Aitken Spence and various other changes, we've seen significant changes in the way that cargo is handled, the turnaround times, the fact that they used to have a levy charged on containers that used to come to Fiji because of the inefficiencies that existed, and those levies are now removed. Efficiency has increased. So Fiji becomes a lot more attractive. In the same way we've seen with Nandi Airport, you see Fiji Airways, for example, at the moment, is bringing a lot of cargo from the west coast of America, not for Fiji necessarily, but onto Australia and New Zealand. And they're putting it in Fiji Airways aircraft because they believe that it acts well, the cost is good, and they're able to efficiently then onward have that cargo go on to Australia and New Zealand, which is highly significant for us. A country of less than 1 million people, we're not even 900,000 people. But what we can do is take advantage of our geographical location by ensuring that we build efficiency, by ensuring that we have a lot more professionalism. And that's precisely what Fiji Ports is doing. In all of this, I mean, your chair announced the fact that they're investing, I think, about $4 million in equipment that will make your life easier, that will make your work easier. The new equipment come into play next year. Now, that investment is critically essential, because if we don't invest in technology, if we don't invest in equipment, that makes your life a lot more difficult. It also makes Fiji unattractive. Because when you have modern equipment, when you have modern systems, whether it's management system, customer service, technology, equipment, it makes us attractive. And you get more customers. It's all about getting more customers. It's all about ensuring that when you get those customers, efficiencies are built. From a government perspective, of course, we want to create the right environment for that. And the fact that you have your company giving additional bonus because of the profits they made is basically in sync with the way that government thinks. And government's philosophy is that we need to ensure that we look after our most important asset. And our most important assets are the people, human capital. This is why we made education free, all the way from early childhood, all the way to high school. You have tertiary education available, TELs, toppers. As announced in the budget, you would have seen that we've announced a number of places for people to do what we call micro qualifications, whether it's carpentry, plaster work, brickwork. There's a shortage of people in those areas. We're seeing a lot of changes that are taking place at the moment in the labor market, not just in Fiji, but around the Pacific, in Australia and New Zealand. There's a shortage of accountants in Australia at the moment. We were told recently 60 Fijian accountants went to Australia. There's a shortage of chefs. They're offering $80,000 to $120,000 per year for a chef with more than 3 years experience in Australia. They're offering people jobs at fruit picking, nursing. One of the nursing stations here, in 1 week, they had 6 nurses that left. They pay a lot more wages. There's a shortage of teachers in some of the remote schools in Australia. So they come and look to Fiji. Why are they taking Fijians? Because we have the right skill sets, because we have the qualifications, we meet the various criteria. So what we call professional preferences are changing in this region, which we'll see a lot of shifts. So from government's perspective, we have to ensure that we continue to invest in our people by way of giving access to education, technical skill sets, ensuring that companies that work with government, for example, Fiji Ports Terminal Limited, is constantly looking after its people, constantly investing in equipment. These things are critically important. So the point that I'm trying to make to you is that you play a very important and pivotal role in how we are projecting Fiji to the rest of the world. What you do or what you don't do will have an impact on how this organization will perform. So you play a very important role. And human resource capital is something that we all need to value. You can have all the equipment, you can have a modern day port, but if you don't have the people to drive it, if you don't have the people with the right skill sets, they mean nothing. If people don't feel a sense of affinity, if they wake up in the morning and don't want to come to work, there's some problem. But if they wake up in the morning and want to come to work because they're excited about the work environment, then we are in a good situation. So I'd like to thank all of you for your input, for your assistance, for your collaboration, working together with the company. And I don't think we should see, the old way of looking at a company as something that you always are what we call antagonistic with, always fighting with. Those days are gone. It's a partnership. It's a partnership between the company and the people who work for the company. I hope to have a quick Talanoa session with you after this, so we can sit around and if you want to raise any issues, we can talk about anything, you can ask any questions. I know there's a lot of misinformation currently going around, and we can clear up all of that. I have time till about 4:10 or so, and I love to sit down and talk more with you. I'd like to also thank the people from Lautoka who have come along for this. Are these the guys in the white ones? Okay, so I'd like to thank all the people from Lautoka too for coming. Of course, there are various other ports we want to develop. We've asked Fiji Ports, we've made some allocation in the budget to look at Levuka, as to what we can do with Levuka, because we want to ensure that we still maintain the connectivity. Some of these ports don't necessarily make money like Levuka, they don't have the volume, but we can actually put the infrastructure with some assistance with government, and we can see how we can bring better services to those people in the Maritime Islands. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for your input. I'd like to thank you for the present. I'd like to also congratulate the chair and the board for the continuous strategic thinking and how they can position Ports Terminal Limited. We've all been through the pandemic. It has posed a number of challenges, but it also has posed a number of opportunities. And that's what we always need to do. We need to always see a glass, what we call half full, not half empty. If we're able to look at a glass half full, then we'll be able to progress a lot better and indeed position our country a lot better throughout the world. Naka, thank you.
Warm greeting to everyone, and it is with great honor that I acknowledge the presence of our Attorney General and Minister for Economy, Civil Service and Communication, the Honorable Aiyaz Sayed-Khaiyum. Yet another year, we have gathered here to celebrate the success of Fiji Ports Terminal Limited. As I have always alluded, the success of FPTL is greatly reliant on our people, the FPTL family. It is imperative that we recognize and acknowledge their significant contribution and celebrate this success by rewarding them. Yes, we will reward our people with our performance pay for the financial year 2021. Similar to previous performance payments, this payout is also based on an assessment of individual KPIs supported by a robust performance management system. The performance management framework has been instrumental in charting a pathway for organizational and employee development, equally contributing to nurturing of the company's service delivery and its progress within the paradigm of continuous improvement. As a face of trade at the terminal, we had our fair share of challenges during the pandemic. And I must emphasize that the challenge is not yet over. Despite the tremendous challenges posed by the global pandemic, it is commendable to note the level of resilience demonstrated by FPTL family in ensuring the continuation of essential port services. I mean, we had all sorts of protocols that we had to follow, like social distancing, and we had to work in what we call basically groups of people, right? We had all sorts of protocols. But at the port, we had to still continue with the business, and our team did very well indeed. The pandemic and global economic downturn posed numerous challenges on global supply chains. We as a terminal operator was not spared and had to carefully navigate through these challenges. The implemented initiatives of the government were the catalyst that enabled us to maintain our cargo volumes and to successfully overcome the presented challenges. Now that we are on a pathway to economic prosperity, we have to position ourselves to meet the demand based on forecasted growth in the economy. In fact, currently, we are noting a significant increase in cargo and container volumes handled at our ports. To ensure that we are well positioned to meet the growing demand and to further improve port efficiency, in April 22, FPTL has invested $4.5 million to procure additional state-of-the-art container handling machines consisting of 2 units of reach stackers and 2 units of empty container handlers. The 2 reach stackers are scheduled to be delivered at the end of this year, and the 2 empty container handlers by mid of 2023. In addition, $500,000 has been allocated to acquire new cargo container handling gears. These are few of the many investments that we are making within this year. We have bigger plans for 2023. Further, we are focused on developing our human capital and other port infrastructure to ensure efficient and effective port operations and service delivery. We always put our people first. They're the main reason where we are today. Our progress and success depend on the progress and success of our employees. It is essential that we create an environment where our employees grow and flourish. It is important that they feel valued and their contribution is acknowledged and recognized. Rewarding employees through performance pay is one of the many ways of recognizing their efforts and contribution to company success. I remember the company that I work for right now, Energy Fiji Limited. I came in there in August 2008, and I remember the Honorable Minister challenged me that, we should introduce the performance management system and get rid of the COLA system, sir. And so we have had the PMS in Energy Fiji Limited, where every employee gets rewarded on their performance since 2009. And we had done similarly out here in ports from 2013. From 2013, we never hesitated to generously reward our employees who contributed to the company's welfare and prosperity. So at this juncture, I wish to express my sincere appreciation to all employees for their valuable contribution during the year. No doubt, we will continuously strive as a FPTL family to ensure that our company and our economy prospers. The amount that we will be paying out today to our 343 employees consists of 2 parts. One is your normal performance pay that we pay as a result of our performance. But for 2021, we are paying your performance pay, and in addition, we are giving you an additional performance pay because of the profitability that we achieved. All right? So we have a budget profitability, and because we exceeded that profitability, we'd like to share a little bit of that additional profitability with our honored employees. All right? So there are 2 parts to the whole thing. And the amount that we will be paying out is some $758,000 to our 343 employees. Finally, I'd like to extend my sincere gratitude to the management and staff for their outstanding performance. I'm optimistic that you will continue with the momentum of taking the company to greater success in the near future. My sincere thanks also goes to the Honorable Minister, the Line Ministry, and the Board Directors for their untiring efforts, guidance and support, without whom FPTL's success would not have been possible. I wish you all the best, and I take this opportunity to wish all the festivals that will be forthcoming in the near future, and wish you, all a happy Diwali, a Merry Christmas, and please take care and stay safe. God bless you all. Thank you.